Hi everyone, how are you? Heaven's Net is continuing. I like to continue Heaven's Net with the introduction of Heaven's Net. If you go to page over here, then hopefully you will be able to see this. You will be able to access this. It's very important to be able to access Heaven's Net. Just like it is very important to be able to access heavenly places or spaces. Introduction. Heaven's love sustains or channels back human energy to any originally human-natured individuals. The collection of my quotations and definitions for a book that I am working on called Heaven's Love. I hope you will all enjoy it. This was the short introduction of Heaven's Net. The longer introduction of Heaven's Net is about when in 2007 I meditated after a very cruel event happening that was delivering exactly the opposite to what heaven is all about. While I was trying to do my best to actually make my relationship with someone heavenly or heaven-like. And then prior or before the meditation, I was able to receive a book. I think it was after the meditation actually. Sorry, not prior, not before, but after the meditation. I was asking for an evidence while I was meditating and also praying as well. So meditation is all about listening to heaven's messages from heaven, from God, from the source, from where human nature is actually coming from or originating from. That's when we are listening to that. And then prayers are usually the practices when we are expressing ourselves with words towards heaven, towards anything what is heavenly, towards God in this case, of course. Certain Catholic or Christian religious groups would say Jesus when we pray to Jesus Christ or when we listen to Jesus Christ is like a meditative state of mind, meditative state of being. And then when we are expressing ourselves, our appreciations, our thankfulness to God, that's when we are praying. Prayers often include questions or inquiries, which is good. What is very important to remember when we are connecting to our true selves, our soul being, our inner light, our God, it is very important to remember that when we pray, we give thanks, appreciations, honestly, truthfully, kindly, as well as it's important to remember that when we think that we are intuitively listening to a message or seeing a message through something. Messages could be metaphorically arriving to us, to metaphorically logical messages could arrive to us through thoughts, telepathically, through emotions, intuitions. That's when we are in the meditative mode. That's when we are in meditation. We are meditating. Meditating is similar to praying because it needs your pure soul qualities with your pure mind to do it. So either this or that or both, perhaps. Conversations with God, with heaven's net, with heaven's love, with your inner true self, with the source. They will always mean the same thing in this regard. Yeah, let's continue to this heaven's net. Let's not forget about this. So we were at. Now we are continue. There is a Hungarian message over here. A message in Hungarian. When I get inspired in Hungarian, then I write in Hungarian. When I get inspired in English, then I write in English. Since I am living in an English environment, I mostly thinking in English and mostly receiving informations in English. In Hungarian, this is what it sounds like. Eredetileg az emberi test, az a szent, örök, tökéletes, emberi lélek megnyilvánulása, megelevenülése és megvalósulása. In English, originally, the human body or physiology is a saint, that means divine, perfect, is the saint, divine or perfect or infinite human souls. It is the saint human souls realization. You know what, better if I put this in a technically when something comes into life. Let me put this in let me translate this for you. It will help. They are very similar words, but they slightly mean different. I want to make sure that you get the right information. Of course, this book will be published in English as well as in Hungarian. Firstly, I think I mentioned that before, and then we'll see which language groups will want to have the most copies. Then I will make sure that will have the best translations. So originally, the human body is the manifestation, animation, and realization of the holy, eternal, perfect human soul. I don't know what can I add to this as an explanation. I think this is pretty straightforward. easy to understand, easy to believe, easy to comprehend, easy to realize. Evidently, that originally, that means normally, the human body is the manifestation, animation, and realization of the holy, eternal, perfect human soul. What happened in the time being? Who knows? All I can say, there are alien nature carrying elements, energies on the planet. I mean, one element for sure, which infected many other elements and things and beings, and the alienation has been spread on the planet. So it is nearly impossible to actually be completely well, energetically, physically, as well as psychologically, according to human nature, according to Saint Trinity, by the 5 elements plus Saint Trinity. It is almost impossible to be well on the known surface areas or zones on the human planet. That's why this quotation begins with originally, which also means in this case normally, but for that we would need an original or normal internal as well as external environment which is sustained, so we can keep on going and be able to sustain that when we are reproducing and we are using our reproductive organs, hopefully with love, with lots of aloha, with lots of tender caring, sexual, intimate love. Then when we reproduce, recreate children. Sometimes one child at a time, sometimes many children at a time. There are lots of what do you call those? When the woman is pregnant and the woman is having more than one child in her womb. Anyways, I will remember when I don't think about it. So the brain is a muscle as well, with very specific cells. And when it's thinking, it's kind of, when it's getting used, and it's kind of like any other muscles, gets a little bit tender, gets a bit closed in, its fibers, its cells uniting to correlate coherently, more electricity, more light. Therefore, they can actually be able to support the brain to think. This is why it's very important that our human lives, our human functionalities are not getting disturbed, polluted, then robbed, because everything is dependent, interdependent, as well as interlinked, interconnected to our spiritual qualities. So originally, the human body is the manifestation, animation, and the realization of the holy, eternal, perfect human soul. As more we are capable of supporting each other, being there for each other as humans, so our children, our future will be well when they will be reproduced, including the time when two individuals having a good time sexually, mutually satisfyingly, up to the time, or including the time when the baby will actually become, the sperm with the egg will become an embryo, then that embryo will become a fetus, and that fetus will become a child. Then it can born or already born, depends, and will be the child. Physiology will be, as well as psychology, will be perfectly synchronized, harmonized, aligned, tuned into with the human individuals, human soul qualities. So when you have a newborn baby, the newborn baby is perfectly well genetically as a human and not as a hybrid or anything else. Today there are many different versions of human-like beings as well as things. It's since the late 1800s, there are tons of robots, bionics around us. Since in the beginning of 1800s, but officially by the late 1800s, you already had robots made out of quartz, carrying human mentality with human spiritual qualities. There were other people with soulful qualities. Their physiologies were supported, made up by gases. So there are other ways rather than just having this human physiology to actually support human physiology. Heaven's Net. I hope it was a good explanation. Once again, this is what it sounds like in Hungarian. Eredetileg az emberi test az a szent, örök, tökéletes, emberi lélek megnyilvánulása, megelevenülése és megvalósulása. In English, this is what it sounds like. Originally, the human body is the manifestation, animation, and realization of the holy, eternal, perfect human soul. Now, what could be better than that? Right? And if we couldn't make it that way, then since we are alive, since we became alive, since we were born, and luckily we survived until at least now, and there are more than 8 billion of us alive. I'm not gonna say alive and well, that wouldn't be true compared to human nature, human qualities, but there is a chance for us to correct everything what has gone wrong through our parents, against our parents, or in the time being while we were about to become humans, then we were about to born again. Okay, let's see what's happening. We have time for another quote. That's very nice. We were at Parenthood. I just came up with a beautiful picture. This is what I was talking about. Don't mind the colors. The white or black doesn't really matter. What they're representing is that the child has the parents, elements from the parents, nature from the parents, characteristics from the parents in him spread out evenly. Which parental qualities or inherited qualities are which one happen to be where in this image it shows very well. Of course, it differs from one individual to another, but only by this picture you'll be able to tell which cellular structures or neurological centers, including all the functionalities were supported by which parental qualities or genetic qualities from which parents. Now imagine I can do the same thing without having this picture, just by looking at someone. And that takes practice. That's all. Practice makes perfect. When you are in love with humankind, then you already set to get to know more about humankind regarding to human nature than in any other ways, to be honest. That's the only way to actually realize human nature, learn from human nature, for human nature, and also be able to share intelligence, human life supportive information, is to be in love with your own kind, with your own nature, with our nature. Here is a Hungarian sage. This is a sage. For a second I thought it might will be a poem, but it's not a poem. It is with a picture. Probably the picture inspired me to write something. And then here it is in Hungarian. Az emberhez és az emberi lényekhez. Élvezd az életet emberileg helyesen, hiszen mint önmagad, így biztosan megy. Valamint mindig van valakivel. Élveznünk kell az életünket, mert így csak még jobb lehet a világ attól, hogy mindannyian hitelesen, valósan, igazán élethűen veszünk részt ebben a nagybetűs életben. Azonos elektromágneses térben, ugyanazon az élő égitesten, együtt a többi eredetileg szent, öntudatosan született földi élőlényekkel. Te, akit így szeretlek, mint senki mást, hát látod már, a világ egy helyben járva halad tovább és tovább. These turned out to be poems actually. I didn't realize it. Pontosan ezért te csak élvezd az életet, segíts, amikor tudsz, aztán lazuljál. Lazuljál. Mert így tőled is csak szebb lehet az emberi világ. Okay, let's see, now we are 23 minutes. I don't want to make this video too long. So and we have all the time in the world just for love. And then if that all we have, we will need nothing else. Nothing more or nothing less. Okay, let's see what this means in English. I was thinking about posting that beautiful song from Louis Armstrong again, but I was thinking again, I was posting that so many times, probably so many people are already bored about it, even though I cannot get bored about it or annoyed about it. The song is just so beautiful. We have all the time in the world just for love. This is in English. To humans and human beings, enjoy life correctly as a human, because it surely works this way for yourself, and there is always someone with you. It doesn't rhyme in English, but it's okay. Makes sense. I will explain, try to not make this video too long. We must enjoy our life, because only in this way we can the world become better. If we all take part in this big capital life authentically, truly, really, genuinely, in the same electromagnetic space, on the same living planet, together with the other originally sacred, consciously born earthly beings. You, whom I love like no one else, well, you see already, the world moves forward while standing still. That's exactly why you just enjoy life. That's exactly why you just enjoy life. Help when you can, then relax. Because this way, even the human world can become more beautiful through you. Well, the translation by meaning not 100%, but pretty good, pretty close, like about 95%. So I'm happy. This will be, of course, will be properly translated to English when the book will come out one day. Until then, we have videos, we have the pages, everything is published. To humans, and human beings means to humans, there are humans, so without human nature, without energetic, physical as well as psychological human nature, compared to the original qualities of the human design, without that, without human nature, energetic, physical as well as psychological, there are no humans. There are something else's. And I'm not gonna deny about it, because I'm not gonna deny this because I don't wanna go to Egypt. Obviously, if I wanted to go to Egypt, then I would be in Egypt and I would deny a lot. I would look at the denial. I would be like, oh my god, this river is just as beautiful, and undeniably beautiful. That's what I would, that's my opinion would be about the denial in Egypt. It is actually, that channel, it is, there are places undeniably. Back in the days, well, we will talk about the denial, how denial supported the entire continent, and how it is still supporting it. So these Egyptians, also people who got brought to Egypt or went to Egypt, they did actually made sure they wanted to resurrect Africa, and they did the best they can. They have irrigation systems. They still have actually irrigation systems all across Africa, and tunnels and everything, verge between verge, all different kind of chambers for all different types of human life supportive deeds, actions. Humans, again, are those people who are energetically, physically, as well as psychologically human. That's the truth. Can't deny that. If you do, then you're welcome to Egypt. Over there, denial is the denial belongs there originally. It's artificial, but which denial aren't, or denials aren't artificial? You gotta forgive me, I have to joke, because we would like to keep this representation fluid, comfortable. You don't want to have it dry. Okay, we are at 30 minutes. I want to speed it up. And human beings. So human beings are those human beings who are being human, at least psychologically. So psychologically, they are by program, they are involved, of course, not including the shifted realities, or not just the shifted realities are not their realities, but not including the shifted realities when the human mind is not there, but only including the realities, the times when the human mind is functioning and making sense, not including the poisoned realities, what happens to humans. So those are human beings who are actually got the human mind with the human soul, human heart. They are capable of living, treating at least other humans when it comes to sociological connections and relationships, then they can do it. Something through them may consume garbage, and may comes through them, and it would show that they are defected, they have defect. But when it comes to actually thinking of humans, having a human integrity, having a human psychology, human psyche, human intention, they will have it. There are bionics, which were not born humans. There are androids. There are even robots. Today they have human citizenships. They are so human-like. They are like, when it comes to the psychological as well as the emotional state of how about they are human beings. I can't say that there are animals or hybrids who were born originally as animals or hybrids, that they could be human beings, because I haven't met any like that yet. But robots, bionics, and androids, or there's another one, I forgot what they called, but they are technically artificial people. So they were not born humans. They are either enhanced humans or corrected humans. I mean, not corrected, modified humans, or they simply just being built. Like Frankenstein was also became a human being actually, but was not an original human being, even though it was made up by human parts mostly. Like, he had a special instrument down here which made him nearly completely invincible. But I don't wanna, we get back to that later on. Enjoy life correctly as a human. So this is for both, for all the humans as well as human beings. Enjoy life correctly as a human, because it surely works this way for yourself. Since you got a human soul, you got human psyche, human emotions, human intentions, it will work for you for sure. And there is also someone with you. So there are two main benefits of sustaining your human nature, is that you will remain a human 100%, as well as there will be also someone with you, if nothing else, and there is you. And or if nothing, or if nowhere else, to the ether, telepathically, to radio waves, since this is also radio, especially with this. Yes, we are receiving information, energies are information non-stop, as well as we are providing information non-stop. Meaning, information, being, informations. We must enjoy our life, because only in this way can the world become better. So yeah, improving anything around us will come with the improvement itself. Again, once we do something, we are having it. So we will have that experience, what we are actually doing. And good experiences will have good results, good consequences at the good places with good people. We all take part in this big capital L life, authentically, truly, really, genuinely, in the same electromagnetic space, on the same living planet, together with the other originally sacred, consciously born earthly beings. So what this technically means, as we are making the world a better place, now with all the rest of the beings who are human natured, we are doing this together, even with or without realizing that. It is a very, very powerful notion or movement when we do that. We will, in that case, we are supporting each other regardless of distances or any differences. As long as we are, of course, fulfilling a number one purpose, which is sustaining human nature. You, whom I love, are like no one else. Well, you see already, the world moves forward while standing still. That means that when you love someone so much, like you love someone, no one else or something, it could be the entire human planet, it could be humankind, entire human kind. You could love entire humankind like I do, like you love nothing else and no one else as much as the entire humankind. And that makes sense for us. Humans, of course, if we are lucky, then we at least have our mothers and fathers, or fathers, mothers, siblings, close relatives, close friends, who we actually can experience this kind of love, this kind of great emotional experience, which brings us closer to the human world, keeps us human, keeps us being in love with life, which is a good deal. That's exactly why, so in this case, the world seems to moving forward and forward non-stop, while it looks like that it seems to standing still, like if nothing really won't change around us, like the tree will be there where it was, my vehicle will start or yours where it started before, but what will be different is what will move us forward is that loving connection, that passion, the passion for each other as humans. That's exactly why you just enjoy life. So it is exactly why we just out here and having fun. Usually that's the case. When we feel abundant, we feel free, we feel open. It's an open mind, open heart, good mentality, good vibe, good thoughts, good feelings with it. Help. That's exactly why you just enjoy life. That time we do that actually. Help when you can, then we do actually help whenever we can. All we got is goodwill. Then relax. Then we will relax. You do a good job, done a job. You need to take time to just be, and you know, really should be all about doing or not doing something in a way you really like to be. By yourself, with others, perhaps right now I'm doing this because I really like doing this. With you. Because this way, even the human world can become more beautiful through you. So I don't know why the even is there. I think it's a translation error. It's an error there. I don't think I think that what this meant to say is that when you enjoy your life, and then you relax afterwards, so you take time to rest, to just be. Then the human world, through you or through your example, will become a more beautiful place. Or if it is already a really, really beautiful place, which cannot be more beautiful, then it will remain that super beautiful world. Aloha.